Hey everybody, Dave here, and I've got an update for Dave's Toolbox, and so I think I've got something pretty cool for you guys. I've been pretty hard at work trying to perfect this header and footer, and you may be saying, not so good, but guess what? I think this header is pretty cool. I don't know if you'll agree, but I would love to hear your comments within the feedback here of this video. Please like and subscribe as well, because still trying to grow the channel. And let me show you what these components can do. So the footer, not so exciting, but the header definitely exciting. At least I'm excited for it. So in any event, I can't talk and do what I need to do. So in order to bring into Dave's Toolbox into a your Power App Canvas app, right now I'm just having this work for the tablet size. As far as the phone, this could be retrofitted pretty easily for a phone with a little bit of work. Maybe I'll go ahead and do that in another video or in another release here. But in any event, this is as of today, or the date of this recording, I released officially 1.0.0.11, and I have come up with 1.0.0.14, a couple of iterations trying to solve some bugs in this release. So we went from 11 to 14. Anyway, to bring this in, we click on the plus and then come down here to get more components. And at this point, I'm going to bring in the app header tablet and the app footer tablet. We'll bring these in and import them. So I will start off with the boring footer, and we'll put this in here. All right, so with the footer here, you can fill out this thing called foo. We'll put the copyright foo schnickens, right? And my super app, right? So we got my super app for the name of the application. So that's how you go ahead and deal with that. The color is up here. You don't have to use color value. You could just simply come up here to color and then pick this if you so chose, right? So that's one option. So very, very, very flexible on how you might want to deal with this. And so maybe I'll just make this back and change this back to white, or better yet, nothing. All right, so that's the footer. Not terribly exciting, but I do have some parameters in here, and you can adjust the height if you so choose. So you make it a full 100, make it a little bit bigger, maybe drop it down to 50, and as a result of that, you might need to drop the text down to say 22. So very, very flexible. You can pretty much do just about anything that you would need to do with that footer. Now, the exciting thing comes in here with regards to the header. So this thing is quite a monster. There is lots and lots and lots of controls in here. So I got some rounding corner effects going on. So you have the ability to round the corners on all of the four corners. So let me just walk you through a lot of the high levels, because there's a lot of custom properties in this header. So the header height should be self-explanatory. It is adjustable, so I'll do 150. Just so that you see that the thing can bump up, but there is, some practical size to it. But in any event, we'll just do 100 for right now. Let's go ahead and shrink this down a little bit, because we don't need all of that height. We could, well, actually, I told you I was going to give you a walkthrough. So there are gradients, okay? So you see the gradient right now. It goes from right, or rather from left to right. And so this is the left gradient stop. There's 3 stops, okay? And you can adjust where they fit within the stop. Right now, I did it very proportional, where I've got, the gradient starting with the color, and I'm going up to it. I'm starting at 0, and then I'm going all the way up till the mid, which is this color. And you can change out the hex colors any way you want. And at this point, and they do have to be hex colors. I didn't make it color code. I did leave it as text, so it is expecting a hex value right here. In any event, you can deal with the mid-grade percentage. This is where it would start. I could back this down to maybe 25, or better yet, let's just bring it down to 20. We'll see what that looks like. See how it got much darker over here? I could also crank this thing up to 70 and start the mid way over here on this side so we get a more consistent color. So you can adjust the gradients all through that. Same thing, maybe you don't want to do this. We'll start this out here at 80, so this becomes super, super black over here. This might become 30, so we get a more even distribution. But in any event, that's what you can do there. Then you have the gradient percent. Okay, so the gradient percent is, again, those stops that's there, and then you gradient colors. So now we are dealing with the shadow. So the shadow top left, so anything that's a negative position, unfortunately it defaults to a formula. Just click on it, and then you can come up here and edit it. I mean, we can simply just do 1 or whatever you want to do. I've got it as -1 so that it does have that offset effect at a slight angle. And I don't know why I hate my trackpad. It does the stupidest things ever. I got to go all the way over here, hopefully do a Control-Z, bring it back. Anyway, so now I've lost it. Let me go ahead and add it back here. So we're going to have to go to plus, header. All right, so we'll leave it at the defaults the way they were. Anyway, you can adjust the positioning. If you can see, it's slightly off-centered over here. And so you can adjust the actual positioning of it. So this is 11. Maybe we'll make it more pronounced at 22. You see how it just dropped down a little bit more. The other thing too is the shadow, alpha shadow. Now the alpha shadow works very simply, very Boolean. Okay, so it's 1 is completely on and dark, and 0 is completely off and you can't see it at all. And then anything between 0 and 1, which is why I had 0.59 originally, kind of meets things halfway in the middle, or 0.6. So just think of it as incremental positions of 0 and 1. It's all a fraction. So if you want to turn it off, you can just simply turn it off and hit 0, and then you don't have to worry about it. Other than that, the last part is right now I've got radius corners on the bottom. I can do radius to 0. Okay, so now it's completely flat, and so that looks pretty straightforward, right? So you can do that. It's kind of like a normal header the way it would be, except it's got the gradient and now the shadows are turned off. You could also turn the whole thing into a pill. So you'll do 100 here, and then another 100 here, another 100 here. And so as you can see, you're just rounding off the corners, and you can do some really cool styling effects where, you may choose 0 here, it may choose 0 there, and so that kind of gives a pretty interesting, header or whatever. And then, with that being like that, I don't know, I'm kind of partial to the shadow. So in any event, lots of really cool things that you can do here with the shadow. Down here at the bottom, you can change the component header. Obviously, it's static text. You can change it to be something dynamic. The logo, unfortunately, I think there's a bug in the way because the component library is still in preview. You were supposed to be able to upload images over here to the image library, and in doing that whoops, sorry, wrong side. If you load images up here into the image library, it's supposed to give you the ability to change it, but it seems like this has got a bug in it right now. So when maybe that gets fixed, I'll come back and try to update this, but if they fix it, it should just fix. Otherwise, another workaround here is you can turn the logo off, and then you can impose on top of this component your own logo and do whatever you want. But once this thing works and the bugs are kinked and worked out of it, you should be able to simply just, after you've uploaded your image over here, you can come and pick it here. But you also have the ability to add an image from the file over here, which is the same as coming over here, and it saves you from having to do that. So again, once this works, this image then should be brought out. Now, one of the things that I did do with this is that I am setting the height dynamically based on the height that's over here, and that height value is the header height. So the header height controls the logo height, and then so if you just come down here to tweak the logo width, app logo width, that should give you some fine-grained controls to get this thing dialed in and or settled out. Now, one thing to show you that you could do that I would advise you maybe not to do it, because they're getting rid of components altogether inside of Canvas apps. This component library concept is supposed to replace all of this. So just know that while this is still here for now, you can come over here into the header and you can choose the ellipsis and you can edit the component, and it'll tell you if you want to create a copy. And as soon as you say yes to create a copy, it's going to put it over here in the components area, and then you can do whatever you want to do. And then if you want to consume it from your copy, then you come over here where this says custom, and there would be your customized version of that component, because it's coming from this component side and not from the component library. So just letting you know that you can do it, but I suggest you not fiddle or monkey with that, because you'll just do something that inevitably is just going to be depreciated, and then you're going to have to circle back and do whatever. All right, so one of the things that you'll see in order to pull all of this off is some very dynamic content up here. So if you wanted to, you could make this more dynamic or more static or whatever you want to do, but just some standard CSS along with some Power FX dynamic variables that are being populated from inside of the component. So, you know, if you go inside of the component, you'll see all of the custom properties that I've added in here, which is how and what makes this work. So 100% customizable, guys. I hope you enjoy. That's it for this video. Thank you. Have a great day.